Oh, look at that. Who's this handsome devil? It's not a hair care for men channel. I don't do this every episode. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Zoo eyes. Tie your hair up and no one will know you're bald. It's a good trick to tie your hair up. Don't tell anyone I'm actually bald. No, that's not true. Everyone knows. Everyone knows me. Everyone knows how bald you are, you bald badger bastard. Old Baldy McBadger bald. Is life funny? You spend your first 14 years of life wishing you weren't bald. And then you get hair and you wish you weren't not bald. I think there's a poetry in that. All right. Look. We're playing around with format a bit more, and not. This isn't format, as in Tara Bennett's douchebag ex-husband, who we deconstructed yesterday in a very painful way for him. I'm being told he watched it and cried. Literally, he cried while he's watching it because sucked in. You fucked it. Because the other thing that happened overnight, as soon as I hit end stream, was I started getting filled in on all the other dog shit that Matthew Scott had done to me, and I'm like, fuck that guy. He's a fucking spastic. Yeah, sending goons to the movie theater to chew behind me, sending goons to the fucking airport to follow me into the toilet and talk loudly. It's like, oh, coffee at the beach. Coffee. You need coffee at the beach, which is so retarded for so many reasons. Yeah, if anyone aside from me says coffee. And that's why I only say in jest, because the SAS and the Australian Signals Director at the SAS, ASIS, they just mean when they say coffee, they just mean you're a slave to us. Yeah, we tell you what to do. That's what they mean when they say coffee. And they'll say it for anything. It's like, are you putting items in a backpack to carry them around? Maybe it's time for a coffee. Wake up. Are you wearing a jumper because you're cold? Wake up. Coffee. Maybe you need to wake up. Are you eating butter because it tastes good and it fills your tum-tum? Prevents you from being hungry for a limited period? Wake up, you baby. Are you reading a book? Books. Reading books. Someone needs a coffee. Maybe you should have gone to the bookshop with the coffee shop in it. Wake up, you baby. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Do you like things? You like beer? What? Wake up. Wake up, you baby. Are you on the phone to one of your surviving blood relatives? Your last surviving blood relatives? Time to wake up, you baby. Yeah, fuck you, Matt. I hope you get... Yeah, we've got plenty of surprises in store for you at Camp Delta. Well, they won't really be surprises. You've got a fair idea of what's going to be involved. Yeah. Fucking spastic. Absolute spastic. Anyway. Alive. And I'm still alive. Still very, very live. Still very, very still alive. You're watching No Pictures of a Bird, a podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott. Do you just need to know who I am? I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. Joining me as always, Tara Bennett, represented here by this candle. Don't forget, we're getting married. Don't forget, she's better than you at everything. and prettier than you, smarter than you, cooler than you, better dressed than you, better than you in bed, definitely. Definitely better than you in bed. She's fucked your boyfriend. He came back for seconds. Yeah. And richer than you. And Kitty Callahan, represented here by this Granite Island Cup. Don't forget they murdered penguins. Don't forget Kitty Callahan has more talent than you, better taste than you. She's more famous than you. She has more ambition than you, and she's going to take over the world. She will. Yeah, she's going to be on the cover of every magazine. That's Kitty Callahan. Well deserved. Because she has talent, and you don't have talent. So, fuck you, she says, and suck her dick. She says that too. Yeah. Now, let's start with a bit of housekeeping. Okay, so I've recently expanded onto all the podcasting platforms, which means that I'm now going to have a lot of listeners and not viewers. But don't forget that this is primarily a video, and you can always find the video version of the Smash Hit podcast, No Pictures of a Bird, podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott. You're watching No Pictures of a Bird, podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott. Unless you're listening to No Pictures of a Bird, podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott. You can always find the video version of the audio on YouTube. So if you head to YouTube, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find, because I film it as a video, and then I'll save it as an audio file, and then I'll upload it to Podbean, and then Podbean distributes it. So if you're listening on like iTunes, or you're listening on Amazon Music, yeah, head on over, and you want to watch the video, head on over to YouTube, or even if you're listening on YouTube Music and you'd rather see the video than just hear the dulcet tones of my voice, yeah, head on over to YouTube video and watch it there. And I'm doing what I can. So what happened when I ported when I brought my podcast across from, because I was originally hosted on Spotify, but now that I'm hosted on Podbean, Spotify shut down all the videos that I had on there and replaced them all with just audio files. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going through and uploading all the videos. I'm uploading videos for all the audio files. So bear with me on that. The new episodes, at least, will have a video straight away, because I can do that immediately. Yeah, but the back episodes, I'm working on like uploading video for all of them. Yeah. So thank you for joining me on my journey towards world domination. I'm also on TikTok. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. I'm going to be on Instagram maybe later today or maybe tomorrow morning. See how we go. Yeah. But yeah, and don't forget, and I have to do this as well, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Hopefully a nice one about my hair. Something along the lines of like, I didn't know you were bald. It's impossible to tell that you're bald. No one knows that you're bald. Something along those lines would be perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, like and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Okay, today we are talking about some of the biggest fucksticks in the universe, and that is the Freemasons. Now, they've been flying under the radar. Because I kind of thought, like, how many? I must still have. I knew I still had. Like, there must still be enemies out there. There has to be. Because I'm still getting like every now and again, I'm doing a pretty good job of protecting myself from fuckwits. But every now and again, one will slip through. And yesterday there was one that slipped through, which really pissed me off. Whoops. Yeah, so that was a very small cyber attack from the Freemasons. And that's what I mean. Yeah. So, because I kind of like, well, the SAS are gone. The 5 families are gone. The Australian Federal Police are gone. The ADF are gone. ACES are gone. The Australian Signals Director are gone. Telstra is gone. Optus is gone. The telcos are gone. Corporate Australia is gone. The Swiss Nazis are gone. Even the US military is gone. CIA is gone. Joe Biden's gone. So like, who's fucking left? Turns out, the fucking Freemasons. Because every now and again, like there's one thing that like Peter Dutton's done this to me before, a couple of times actually, where they'll send blowflies, and a blowfly is like an intelligence term for a very annoying person who follows you around, and it's just designed to piss you off. And they'll do it with kids. They get kids to follow you around, and usually they're on bikes. Yeah, they're on like those e-bikes, and they'll just like ride around you. And so you'll be walking down the street, and they'll just be generally riding in the same direction and talking loudly and being annoying. And at the same time, they'll be targeting you with like Havana syndrome rays. And so it's like, their mere presence pisses you off, like greatly. And then compounding that is the knowledge that you know that they're doing it to piss you off, and it's like, someone's just doing this to fuck with me, and fucking hell, like. But you can't do anything because they're kids, so you can't scream at them. You go like, "Boy, fuck you! Get the fuck out of the way!" You can't do that because they're children, and then they're like, and then the cop, "Oh, you yelling at kids?" And then click, you're in jail. Yeah. So one time it happened. There were like 3 Asian kids. They're like 12 years old. They all looked the same. They looked like triplets. And they were riding on George Street e-bikes. And they were like riding around me pretty much in circles. So they'd ride ahead of me and then turn around and then ride back past me and then turn around again and ride back in front of me. And so I was like, where I was walking down George Street, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they were always around me until I just went like, wait, get the fuck out of the way. And then they went, oh, okay. And then rode off. And it happened again in Paddington. There were these blonde chicks. Yeah, and they'll do the same thing. They'd ride around you. They're all dead, by the way. All of these agents are dead. Because that's what they are. They're agents. They're all murderers. Yeah, these blonde chicks were doing it too in Paddington. And it's just fucking annoying. And then yesterday it happened when I got off the train. These 2 little Asian girls in karate uniforms were riding razor screws. Yeah, so they're riding behind me, and then they're in front, and then they stop, and then I catch up, and then they're riding behind me again, and then they're in front, and then they stop. And it's like, fucking hell, fuck. It really fucking pissed me off. It really made me very angry. Yeah. And so I was like, well, who's still fucking with me? I thought everyone was dead. I thought all the villains were dead. And then Kitty Khan was like, well, no, that's what we're trying to tell you, Mr. Tapscott. Unfortunately, you still got enemies. And those enemies are called the Freemasons. So that's why we're going to do 2 things right now. Number 1, we're going to play Google Maps. Number 2, we're going to do a bit of research on the Freemasons. And I'll expose exactly who they are and why you should fucking hate them. Because they're spastic losers. They're very gay losers. And they're all pedos as well. Yeah. It's all of the Freemasons are basically a front for child sex trafficking. That's just the long and short of it. It's just dudes who like to fuck little boys. That's it. We need a secret society for that. The mystery and the symbolism. Freemasonry. What is it? It's a secret society. Don't you just hang out and fuck, dude? Like, isn't that what it is? Like, it's just like a club for dudes who like to fuck children who are also dudes. What? No, it's mysterious ancient civilization. We're a secret society dating back thousands of years. Like, no. It's just, you're just pedos. That's all you are. That's all you are. Don't reveal our secrets. Yeah. So let's start with Google Maps. Right there. Unit 4270 Darling Street, Balmain. Yeah. So that is that's a brothel. Yeah. So basically, yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's it in there. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like an Airbnb. It's like an off-the-record Airbnb. And what they do is you'll pay someone on the dark web like a couple of grand, and then they'll text you like an address, and then you'll get a key. You'll acquire a key from somewhere. You know how Airbnbs do that? They'll put the lock. They'll just clip it onto a fence, and then the key's in the lock, and then they'll give you the location of the lock. They'll give you the combination to the key box. You go there, get the key, and then they'll text you the address. You go to the address, you open the door, there'll be a child in there, you have sex with them. Yeah. And that's how it works. Yeah. So that's organized via the dark web. That's the Freemasons doing it. Yeah. That's the Australian Freemasons doing that. A secret society. It's actually just a big front for child sex trafficking.
versusgod.com and vote now.
It is a television axiom to not overhype the introduction to a story, lest the subsequent footage be anticlimactic for the viewer. But in some cases like this, the revelations contained within are so compelling you can make the musical score build as dramatically as you like and the typeface really big. In Secrets of the Freemasons, Exposed. In fact, make Exposed bigger. Make it flash. It is a secret society that goes back hundreds of years, with secret handshakes, rituals, and ceremonies. Recently, an Anglican church in New South...
Yeah. So all of that's true. All of that. Yeah, I'll put the link to that John Saffron video. In fact, I'll share it on X right now. I'll share this on X. So everything, all the allegations that John Saffron makes in this video, and it's just kind of like the light. It's fun and frilly. It's just like a bit of light entertainment. Yeah, it's not hard hitting. But it's all true. Everything in that John Saffron story is true. Yeah. 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 And the reason that they do that, the reason that they do shit like that to young initiates is to get them used to the idea that you're going to be doing some really fucking creepy shit. Yeah. You're going to be peeing on each other. You're going to be drinking pee. You're going to be raping young boys. Yeah. And that's the sort of like breakdown, like, get set. Like, yeah, are you Freemason material? And that means like, yeah, are you child sex orgy material? Like, are you too shy to be in the Freemasons? Let's find out. And then if you can do all that dog shit in front of a bunch of creepy dudes who are jerking off while you do it in front of you, to you. So Matt Scott would probably be into it because he loves watching dudes jerk off, as we established yesterday. What a fuck stick. Yeah. What a fuck stick. Anyway, yeah, and all of that shit is to break down your barriers and desensitize you to the creepy shit that you're about to do as a Freemason. Yeah, which is have sex with young boys. And so if you're a real pedo, if you're a genuine pedophile, you'll be like, yeah, sick, I'm fucking down for this, because you'll do anything. You'll do anything to get access to pedo stuff, to pedo shit. Yeah. It's just like the same, like I remember when porn on the internet, it was like, how do I get the porn? Then you'd have to go through the fucking, you have to download like Pirate Bay and then get like the fucking Tor app and then go to like find the illegal fucking downloading site and then download the porn that way. And that's how you can do it. And then they invented Pornhub and it was fun. Yeah. But it's shit like that. So it's like, if you're a fucking kiddie fiddler, if you're a pedo, yeah, it's like, yeah, sick. I'll go through anything. Go through anything. Yeah. And you notice what that guy was meant. He's like, oh yeah, I'm in the Boy Scouts. Yeah. Yeah. Boy Scouts, fucking Freemasons. Yeah. They're recruiting. That's what they use the Boy Scouts for. They recruit vulnerable kids. Fuck you, Freemasons. Now, the Freemasons have been fucking around with Mr. Tapscott for how long, Kitty? Since 2012. Yeah. And what was it? Because of 2012, I went to, was it Meredith? No. The CV. Yeah. Yeah. So the Freemasons have been fucking around with Mr. Tapscott since 2012. Yeah. Now, part of the reason John Saffron made that episode about Freemasons in John Saffron versus God was that the Freemasons have been fucking around with John Saffron as well. And what he was trying to do is sort of like push them back and expose them. Because he got tipped off, John Saffron got tipped off by the Australian Federal Police saying, like, heads up, you're being targeted by Freemasons. Because John Saffron did a bunch of stuff. Like, he did a bunch of stunts. And also, yeah, he pissed off Ray Martin. And Ray Martin wasn't a Freemason, but Ray Martin was adjacent to Freemasons. And so the Freemasons didn't like John Saffron for that reason. And so they started targeting him, and they started fucking around with him. And that's what they do. The Freemasons are exactly like the Scientologists in that they'll use their secret society, which is basically just a club, a pedo club for men, to target people and harass people and engage in like Zertzazon campaigns, like psychological warfare and psychological fucking psyops and psychological torture. They'll target people and try and make them go crazy. They'll try and make them broke. They'll try and like ruin their lives financially. Wow, that was them. That was Freemasons. Yeah, fucking hell. And they were just targeting me just for the fun of it back then. Yeah. Fucking dog shit. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. Yeah. Because they're creeps. And also Nazis. Big time. Yeah, they're Nazis. Yeah. So let's look at so 2012, like I wrote the CV and they're like, how can we get to this guy? Did they try and recruit me? So they were, yeah. So, yeah, they were trying to sort of groom me into being, and did they have anything to do with Telstra? No. Did they have spies in my house? Yeah, Sarah, she was a Freemason. Yeah. And she was there to scout me out. But that was before the CV, but she was just scouting people in general, and I was on the list. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Because they were like, yeah, the Black Cat wasn't exactly, the bar I used to hang out in Fitzroy. It wasn't a low-profile bar. It was pretty prominent. It was like on a very high visibility street. It was right on Brunswick Street. The intersection of two very busy footpaths. And so if you're there drinking, like everyone can see it. It's not a secret at all. Like you almost may as well be on TV. There may as well be a photo of you on a billboard on a street corner if you go drinking at the Black Cat. Yeah. And so the Freemasons sort of had one eye on that because they have spies everywhere and they like to keep their eyes on what's going on. And they're trying to like recruit douchebags effectively in the same way everyone else does, like Opus Dei and ACES. Yeah, they're adjacent to Opus Dei, basically. Yeah, they're effective. That's a good way to look at them, actually. So yeah, just imagine Opus Dei, but it's just like it's the difference between fucking Carlton Football Club and St Kilda Football Club. They're both AFL teams. The only difference is they wear different jumpers. That's it. But they're identical aside from that. Yeah, they play the same code. They play the same code. They play by the same rules. They're just different. Yeah, they're just different clubs in the AFL structure. Yeah, so Opus Dei and Freemasons, creepy secret societies for Nazi fucking perverts who love to rape little boys. That's what they both are. Both of them. Yeah. So the Freemasons had their spies everywhere. They're in the government as well. Yeah, just like Opus Dei. Yeah, so the government, like they're in all the intelligence agencies. So there are Freemasons in the police. There are Freemasons in the Australian Federal Police. There are Freemasons in the fucking military. There are Freemasons in the SAS. There are Freemasons in ACES. There are Freemasons in ASIO. There are Freemasons in the Australian Civil Directorate. And they're worldwide. Yeah. There are Freemasons in the media. Heaps of them. Yeah. And so they like to keep one eye on what's going on around the place. And they have spies scattered around. and then try and recruit people. It's like, oh, this guy's potentially influential. In the same way the Scientologists do with celebrities and stuff. So if you're a celebrity, you get approached by the Scientologists, and they'll try and bring you into their gang, because then it's like, okay, cool, Tom Cruise, you're a prominent celebrity. If we get you in a Scientologist, people are going to go, Tom Cruise is cool. Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. Scientology is cool. Yeah, so the Freemasons do the same thing. If we can get that prominent individual to become a Freemason, that's good for us. Yeah. And then they can help, their influence can help us covertly exert power and influence over like local politics and things like that, local councils. Yeah, and then just effectively help us run our pedo network and make a shit ton of money. Yeah. So that, yeah. And so I was kind of like, I was sort of half on their radar. They'd been fucking around with me. They'd fucked around with me already because they were fucking around with my credit rating. Yeah, so what they did was I went into a gym and I had a gym membership. And then I moved houses. And so I went into the gym and I said, oh, heads up, I just need to change my address. So I've moved from this street to this street. I've moved from Henry Street to Napier Street. And they go, okay, cool. And then about 5 years later, I applied for a credit card and they go like, no. And I'm like, why? Like, your credit rating isn't very good. I'm like, what? Because I'd never had a credit card or I'd never had a loan or anything like that. Like, how can it be shit? Like, I don't have any credit. How can I have a bad credit rating? And it turns out that gym, instead of just getting the one gym membership and changing the address on it, changing the address details, they'd started a brand new gym membership. So now on their records, there were two members called Nick Tapscott. There were two Nick Tapscotts who were members of this gym in Fitzroy. And one Nick Tapscott was a deadbeat who never fucking paid his gym membership and got reported to like credit reporting agencies and collection agencies and stuff like that. And the other Nick Tapscott was in there like twice a week and always paid his bills on time. And they never clicked. Even though I had the same number, the same phone number, the same driver's license number, the same ID, that it was like that I'm the same fucking middle name, Nicholas Frank Tapscott, the same birthday, that I was the same guy, and they just fucked up. Yeah, and so I yelled at them, and it turns out no, it was actually the Freemasons that did that on purpose, just to fuck me around. Yeah, just to bring me down, like drag me down, give me a shit credit rating. Yeah. So that's what they do. And once you get that rating, you can't. Once it's on your record, that's it. That's it. And so even if you that was a mistake, they fucked that up, then it's like, okay, it gets a black mark. You still have that black mark of your fucking credit record. Yeah. Scumbags. Yeah. So that was the Freemasons that did that. Yeah. But then they didn't really give two shits about me. They heard about me blowing up the Death Star, but they didn't care about that either. Yeah, they're like, oh, cool, maybe he's a pedo. Yeah, because he's not interested in girls. Maybe he's a pedo. Yeah. And then when I wrote the CV, they're like, ooh. Yeah, and they were targeting me at work, at the cafes, right? Yeah, they were targeting me there. They're sending spies into the cafes to spy on me and stuff like that. Yeah. They're sending women in to reject me on purpose to make me feel shit about myself. Yeah. Are they complaining? Like making complaints to the cafes and stuff? Yeah. Using Urban Spoon to make fake complaints? Yeah. Yeah. But the boss of that cafe was on because she got tipped off. Like, look, whatever you hear, don't fire Nick Tapscott. Whatever you hear, because people are going to come in and try and get him fired. And they were part of that. They were like, yeah, like I went in there and he made a coffee and I felt sick. Yeah. Shit like that. Yeah. Was there much else? No, it was just that shit. Yeah. And then what happened like after I moved this, they didn't fuck around with me in Telstra. Nah. Or Zaz. Nah. When I moved to Sydney, they kind of like, I dropped off their radar a little bit. Yeah. Did I come back on their radar? Yeah. When did I come back on their radar? 2021 or before? Before. Yeah. When I did the Terminator at Meredith. Yeah. So they were spying on. Yeah. Okay. So they were spying on me at Meredith. They had spies in there. Yeah. And then when I fucking blew up the whole thing, they're like, what? Ah, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Spastics. Yeah. And then a couple of a couple of the chumps who were targeted. So they weren't just SAS, they were also Freemasons, yeah. And then that painted a target on me on behalf, yeah. The Freemasons, like, oh, we fucking hate him, we'll kill him. Yeah. And then they tried, when I was living in Potts Point, they tried, like, what, how many times? 13 times to murder me. Yeah. With poison, I guess. Yeah. Poison booze, probably. Yeah. Any of the, at the bars, yeah. And they got supported every time. Yeah. Okay. Bastards. Okay, Freemasons Australia are connected to approximately 130,000 murders since the turn of last century. So the year 1900, the Freemasons in Australia have been connected to around 130,000 murders. Yeah, disappearances. Yeah, yeah. Oh, they killed Maurice from the Bee Gees. Yeah, so I watched a documentary this morning about the death of one of the Bee Gees. That was the Freemasons that did that. Yeah. They killed him. They killed one of the Bee Gees. Yeah, Morris. He was like 53 and he ate something and then he collapsed. It was obviously a poisoning. Yeah, it was like, yeah. Because he was relatively healthy. And then one day, he just went, my stomach, and just keeled over and then went to hospital and never regained consciousness and died. Yeah. Very obviously poisoning. That was the Freemasons that did that. Yeah. Just because he was prominent, he was a prominent Australian. Yeah, basically. Fucking cunts. Yeah. Fuck you, Freemasons. Yeah. Now. History. Since the middle of the 19th century, Masonic historians have sought the origins of the movement in a series of similar documents known as the Old Charges, dating from Regius Poem in about 1425 to the beginning of the 18th century, alluding to the membership of a lodge of operative Masons. They relate it to a mythologized history of the craft, the duties of its grades, and the manner in which oaths of fidelity are to be taken on joining. The 15th century also sees the first evidence of ceremonial regalia. There is no clear mechanism by which these local trade organizations became today's Masonic lodges. The earliest rituals and passwords known from operative lodges around the turn of the 17th and 18th centuries show continuity with the rituals developed in the later 18th century by accepted or speculative Masons, as those who did not practice the physical craft gradually came to be known. The minutes of the Lodge of Edinburgh, Mary's Chapel No. 1, in Scotland show a continuity from an operative lodge in 1598 to a modern speculative lodge. It is reputed to be the oldest Masonic lodge in the world. During the Age of Enlightenment, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the French Revolution. So the Masons were very, very active during the French Revolution. They were also... Yeah, the lodges initially supported World War I, promoting close ties with France. The liberal activist Alexander Kerensky, who came to political power with the overthrow of the Tsars in 1917, was a Mason. Yeah, so that's important. So basically the Freemasons, the organization collapsed as the Bolsheviks took power and was again outlawed. Now, it was fake outlawed, because what actually happened there was the Masons helped to engineer the Russian Revolution, and the reason they did that is because they're Nazis. They're a cult. They're a sect. They're a sect of the Catholic Church. That's what they are. Yeah. Now, because obviously Freemasons are stonemasons. That's how it started. It was the Union for Stonemasons. And what are stonemasons? If you're a stonemason, what are you usually employed, especially in the 13th century in Europe? What are you going to be employed to make? Yeah, either castles or cathedrals. Yeah, so that's basically what it was. Yeah, it was the construction union for the Catholic Church. It was the construction wing. It was the tradies for the Catholics. And then, obviously because they're Catholics, they're also Nazis. So that's what it was. It was like in the same way you've got union thugs now. It's a CFMEU. That's what it was. It was a CFMEU for Catholics. Yeah, and so they're extremely powerful. They're a very powerful union. and they operated exactly the same way the CMFEU worked, which is like if you try and build a church with non-union labor, non-Freemason labor, they'd kill you. Yeah, they'd poison you, then murder you. Your daughter would disappear. Your son would get raped. That type of shit. Yeah. It's like, you're going to play ball. You're going to play ball with Freemasons, right? All right. Yeah. Your father. I hear you're thinking about building a church using your cousin and not the Freemasons. Yeah. That type of shit. Yeah. They were Nazis. Yeah. And so they wanted to get they just they don't like the royals. Because they want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want. And so that's why they did that so they can, fulfill the Nazi dream of living in a totalitarian state where everything is wrong. Anything you do is wrong. Wake up your baby. Yeah. They've got that deprivation thing. Because what they want is to have a list of regulations this long, just exactly like the fucking Spanish Inquisition. The Spanish Inquisition, they were Freemasons. They were Freemasons. That was them. That was the Freemasons. And it's exactly like that. It's like, all right, cool. They want to basically be able to live in a world where at any point they can kick whoever you are, they can kick your door in and go right, here are the infractions. We heard you smelled a flower the other day, and that's immoral. That's taking God's fucking creations in vain or some dog shit. Yeah. Also, it's adjacent to a vagina, and so it's kind of like a sex thing as well. Perversion. You're a pervert. Perversion. Yeah, and then they can they'll grab you, or that even just on suspicion. It's like we suspect you've been doing immoral things. We suspect that you've been having an affair, and so we're going to torture you until you confess. And then once you confess, we'll execute you. Yeah, we suspect you're a witch, and so we'll torture you until you confess. And then once you confess, we'll execute you. And if you don't confess, you'll die in the interrogation. Yeah, we'll just torture you to death. Yeah, that's Freemasons. And so that's why they loved the French Revolution. They're like, yeah, sick, get rid of the fucking royals. And that's why they loved as well the Russian Revolution. It was like, yeah, sick, get the Bolsheviks in, and then we can write all these rules. And it's like, that's not communism. Yeah, bang, bang, bang. Just murder everyone. Yeah. So fuck you, Freemasons. Now, it's time for me to reveal the head of Freemasonry in Australia. The head Freemason, who is also a fucking raging pedophile. This is the head of the Freemasons in Australia. And he's also a rampant pedophile. He's dead now. Because we took him out as a priority. But the Freemasons, they're still out there. They still fuck around. Yeah, they still fuck around. But not for much longer. Because just like every other video, as soon as I hit end stream, doors are going to get kicked in and they're going to get deleted. Yeah. The lucky ones will just get deleted straight away. The unlucky ones will go to Camp Delta. Yeah. Yeah. Where you'll be interrogated until you confess. How ironic. Yeah. This, Ted O'Brien, from the Australian Liberal Party, is the head Freemason. Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Shadow Treasurer, member for Fairfax. Yeah. Yeah. Fairfax is in Queensland. He's a member for Fairfax. Fairfax is in Queensland. Let's go. Why can't we zoom out? There it is. Yeah. So that's it there. Sunshine Coast. Yeah. The Sunshine Coast is effectively the headquarters of Freemasonry in Australia. Now, Freemasons are fucking everywhere, and they're worldwide as well. But in Australia, the Sunshine Coast is where a lot of them are. Yeah. And did you notice as well, like, you know, there was that great migration of Melburnians, Victorians, especially Melbourne cunts, moving to Queensland. That had a lot to do with the Freemasons. Because what was happening factionally in Melbourne was the Irish Catholic Nazis were taking over. Eddie Maguire was taking over. And they're not necessarily, and it's not necessarily, it's exactly like I said. It's like they're just different footy teams. But what happened was, so it's like Collingwood started dominating the footy. So you'd always had Freemasons, you'd always had Opus Dei, you'd always had Irish Catholic Nazis in Melbourne, who was Eddie Maguire was the head of them. He was the lead Irish Catholic Nazi. And then the factions, the Irish Catholic Nazi, that faction got stronger and stronger and stronger. And so the Freemason faction kind of like, they're like, well, we're not necessarily enemies with them, but we're not in charge either. So let's pull out. Yeah. Yeah. So they started moving up to Queensland where they had a lot of power. Yeah. They started migrating up there. Yeah. They had a lot of influence up there. Now, the fact that it's called that Ted O'Brien is the member for Fairfax. Now, that's not a coincidence either. Because this bitch was a Freemason and one of the worst. Yeah. So this is Lady Fairfax, English noblewoman and wife of Thomas Fairfax, third Lord Fairfax of Cameron. Now her descendant is this bitch from Double Bay. Well, that's where she died anyway. Lady Fairfax, Mary Fairfax. Yeah, she was a Freemason. That's her. That's her. Now, they founded Fairfax Media. Fairfax Media was the second most powerful media conglomerate in Australia. Yeah, up there with News Corp. Yeah. John Fairfax and Sons. Yeah. He was a Freemason. John Fairfax was a Freemason. He founded the Sydney, he bought the Sydney Morning Herald in 1841. Nine Entertainment was also Freemason. Yeah, after Kerry Packer died. The Australian Financial Review, the Canberra Times, Domain Group, Macquarie Radio Network, Stan, and HuffPost are all Nine Entertainment Co. Are all Freemason. They're all Freemason fucking media outlets. They're all propaganda units for the Freemasons. All of them. Yeah. They're all dog shit. And that's why. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's running. They'll always, like, both, all the media in Australia will say, vote for the fucking Liberal Party. Or Sydney Morning Herald. Yeah, Clovermore was Freemason adjacent. That's why they were all like that. It's like, it doesn't matter. They'd be like, gay rights and curries, and it's time to say sorry. Also, vote for John Howard. Yeah. Because that's why. They're just fronts for Freemasonry. And Freemasons, they're Nazis. And so they're like, yeah, freedom. And what they mean by freedom is they don't mean freedom of thought. They mean freedom from prosecution, so they can do shit like fucking rape kids. Yeah, and murder people at will. That's the type of freedom they want. Yeah. But if you're someone like Mr. Tapscott, now Mr. Tapscott came into the story, and yeah, when at the end of 2021, the Freemasons fucking hit the roof. Yeah, they're like, fuck you, Nick Tapscott. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. After 2018, Mr. Tapscott became a target for the Freemasons because he did that at Meredith Music Festival and fucked up a bunch of people when he was targeted. I was targeted at Meredith Music Festival and I pushed it back. Yeah, very clearly. And I didn't hurt anyone physically, but I seduced. I flirted with and then seduced. Like I flirted with girls without talking to them just to get them until they were keen. And then I just ditched them. And I did that 10, 15 girls in a row and broke all their hearts. Yeah. And it was very clearly an act. It was very clearly, intentionally, an act of war. I was like, oh, fuck you. I'll do this then. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. And so mixed in there were Freemasons because through their Fairfax connections. Because they're Fairfax media douchetards. Yeah, the Age and the SMH. Those faggots. Yeah. Yeah, so I was a target then. That made me a target for the Freemasons. Yeah. And then, so they just wanted to kill me for that. But then after that, at the end of 2021, they heard about the Son of Man rumors. And then they fucking went, hit the roof. Yeah. Were they on board? No. Nah, they were like, Mr. Tapscott's a fraud and he must die. Yeah. Yeah. And that's partially why all the other factions were saying, I'm like, what are you putting on the table? Like you need to do pictures of a bird. I'm like, why? No, because we're paying you. I'm like, how? You're not paying me money though. How are you paying me? They're like, well, we're not killing you. That's how we're paying you, by not killing you. And I'm like, that sounds like standover. And that was part of the reason that they were saying. It's like, we're protecting you. Yeah. We're protecting you from the Freemasons who want to kill you. Yeah. That's what we're doing for you. Yeah. But it's like, well, the Freemasons shouldn't do that anyway. The police should be, yeah. If there's someone who wants to murder me, the police should be doing that anyway. Yeah, and they don't get, that's not a form of payment. That's my tax dollars. That's what they're supposed to do. That's their job. Prevent people from murdering innocent civilians. Yeah. Yeah, so the Freemasons have always just been straight up aggressive. The rest of them were kind of like, we'll play a lot as long as you do pictures of the bird. I'm like, fuck you. And then they got aggressive. Yeah, the Australian SAS, all of those fucksticks. But the Freemasons were just straight up, we'll kill you. Yeah, straight away. Yeah. Yeah, and it's partially because of this. It's partially because of this. Freemasonry, sometimes spelled Freemasonry, consists of fraternal groups that trace their origins to medieval guilds of stonemasons. Freemasonry is considered the oldest existing secular fraternal organization, with documents and traditions dating back to the 14th century. Modern Freemasonry broadly consists of three main traditions. Anglo-American style Freemasonry, which insists that a volume of sacred law, such as the Bible, Quran, or other religious texts, should be open in a working lodge, that every member should profess belief in a supreme being, that only men should be admitted, and discussion of religion or politics does not take place within the lodge. Yeah. Yeah. They believe in God, right? Yeah. Yeah, women are in there. They say, oh, you can't be a Freemason if you're a man. You can only be a Freemason if you're a man, but women are in there. Yeah. They're co-Freemasonry. Yeah. All three traditions have evolved over time from their original forms, and all refer to themselves as regular, and to other Grand Lodges as irregular. The basic local organizational unit of Freemasonry is the lodge. These private lodges are usually supervised at the regional level by a Grand Lodge, or a Grand Orient, Grand Lodge that supervises all of Freemasonry. Each Grand Lodge is independent. They do not necessarily recognize each other as being legitimate. Now, that is not true, because there is a Grand Lodge. There's a Freemasons that controls all of them. And everyone knows it. And I'll show it to you right now. This is the Grand Lodge that controls the rest of the Freemasons. It's called the Vatican. Because the Catholic Church effectively are Freemasons. Vatican City is a Grand Lodge. They are all fucking Freemasons. Vatican City is the Grand Lodge that controls all the other lodges. And they have had a stick up their ass about Mr. Tapscott. Ever since the end of 2021, the Catholics have been trying to kill me, have been trying to murder me, and fuck them. And that's why Catholics are always in trouble for raping young boys, because they're Freemasons. That's the Freemasons doing it. That's the Freemasonry in there doing it. Yeah. Yeah. Catholics equal Nazis, equal Freemasons. Catholics equal Freemasons. Freemasons equal Nazis. Catholics equal Nazis. Catholics equal Freemasons. Freemasons equal Nazis. Because they're pedos. They're all fucking pedos. They hate Jews because Jews don't answer to the Catholic Church. That's why they fucking hate them. Because they go like, oh, hey, Jew. Like, yeah. Do what, you need to do what it says in this Bible, which we've just made up ourselves. Yeah. Paul the Apostle. Yeah, we just wrote this part. And they go, well, we don't care about that. We've got the Old Testament. We don't give a shit about you fucking Catholic losers. And they're all fuck you. And that's why they've always been trying to murder them. Yeah. So the Freemasons, that's what they are. Well, that's what they were. Because now they're fucking eradicated. Yeah, they're gone. Fuck you, Freemasons. Now, there is like an end to that story. About this. This is a bonus.
Of fellow members. I was able to back up this claim when I uncovered this ad in the newsletter. 5% off the total bill at when the Masonic MasterCard is presented to pay.
You get a 5% discount because you're a Freemason from Leo Spaghetti Guard.
That's good.
Why should you get 5% off when I don't, just because you're a Freemason? You don't think the Freemasons are getting unfair advantage?
No. Well, what about the RAC, though?
Here at Leo Spaghetti
Football Club? What about Collingwood Football Club?
Well, they're as sinister as the Freemasons, I'll admit that. I read in 1826 that Captain William Morgan was kidnapped and killed by Freemasons.
That cunt, John Saffron. This cunt. Big time. Yeah. Race Around the World was a front for child sex, tourism, and trafficking. Yeah. That's why he's in the SMH. Yeah. So when he was sizing up the Freemasons, he was actually sneakily doing it to kind of like they'd been targeting him, and then the targeting worked. He's like, all right, I'll come on board. They're like, well, we can't beat him, so why not? Yeah. He will join us or die. That's what they basically said. Because they were targeting him because he was so prominent. And then they realized he was a pedo. It's like, well, we happen to know a club that you might appreciate membership to. John Safran. He's like, yeah, tell me more. Yeah. So fuck you, John Safran. John Safran versus God. God won. God wins. Sorry, John. He's in hell right now, isn't he, Aldous? He sure is, Mr. Tapscott. Yeah. So fuck you, Freemasons. I won't miss you. Neither will anyone else. Especially not your literal billions of victims of child sex abuse globally. In your entire history, you've sexually assaulted or raped billions of children. So, yeah, no pictures of a bird where you're going, you fucking spastic dogs. Any more big revelations, Kitty Callahan? Yeah, okay, yeah, a couple more. About me, about them trying to kill me. Yeah, any that I should remember? Yeah. 2023? After Perth or in Perth? No, after Perth. Yeah. In jail? Yeah. Fucking hell. John Moroney? No. Clarence? Yeah. The Freemasons were trying to murder me in Clarence. That fuck Joseph Gavin was a Freemason. He was a fucking cockhead. Yeah. What happened? Like, did they order him to kill me? No. They did after. Yeah. That fuckstick on the train, that was a Freemason. Yeah. So after I got out of jail at Clarence, a fuckstick attacked, like, yeah. He didn't physically assault me, but I was on the phone. He's like, can I use the phone? I'm like, no, I'm on the phone. He's like, fuck you. Yeah, and like eyeballed me and was threatening me and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. And then they had Freemasons in that Ashfield place. Yeah. But they weren't like threatening me there, no. Anymore? No, that was it. Yeah. Yeah, but that goon and Joseph Gavin. Yeah. Yeah, Joseph Gavin was a massive fucking spastic, that cunt. Yeah. And he was a cooker. Yeah, he was a YouTube conspiracy theorist. Yeah. And I thought he was a CIA goon as well. So Joe Biden was a Freemason and a rapist. So fuck you, Joe Biden. Yeah, this cunt. Skull and Bones. Okay, yeah, all right, here we go. Skull and Bones is a front for Freemasonry. Skull and Bones are Freemasons. The Freemasons are the CIA. There you go. So all of those fucking North American Nazis are Freemasons. Yeah. All of those North American Nazi dog shit losers scum. They are all fucking Freemasons. Yeah, all right, well, good. That zit is popped. Yeah, well, fuck you. Yeah, there you go. Goodbye, Joe Biden. Cancer of the prick. No pictures of a bird where you went, cunt. Yeah, NSA, CIA. NSA, CIA, DEA, not the FBI, not ICE. ATF are all Freemason, and that's why they all got shut down. And the US military as well, they're Freemasons. All the special forces, Navy SEALs, JTAC, JSOC, Delta, all of them, they are all Freemason, and that's why they are all fucking gone. The Australian SAS weren't Freemasons, but they're adjacent to Freemasons. Yeah, they may as well have been. Yeah, but they're gone as well. Yeah. So anyway, good fucking bye, Freemasons. You spastic loser dogs. Fuck you. I'm glad you're gone. Yeah, and that's why they all hated Trump, because Trump wasn't Freemason. Yeah. Yeah, they hated Trump just because he wasn't a Freemason. But Trump was like 5 families, and it's just as bad. Yeah, so the mafia, 5 families are at odds with the Freemasons. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right, well, bye, bitch. You've been watching No Pictures of a Bird, a podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott. Don't forget to like and subscribe and find me. If you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to head to YouTube and watch the video, because they're good. Like, you know, I've got a cool haircut. I just spent $65 on a haircut. It's wasted. It's wasted if you just like listen to the audio. You can't hear my haircut. Or can you? No, you didn't hear that. But you can see it. So if you go and watch the video, you'll see my $65 hair. You've been watching No Pictures of the Bird, a podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott.